I join in the thanks to the American Embassy, to Political Officer Waller, and to Professors Jaffe and Carli for this extraordinary opportunity for LUISS students to understand the complexity of our times and especially the relevance of this election. Because we do indeed live in a time of complexity, a time in which the borders of truth and falsehood, of right and wrong, are blurred, if not invisible, to most. A time of crisis, of uncertainty, of change. And if history imparts any lesson, it is that change is inevitable. It may be slowed down or postponed, but in the end it breaks through either way, with all of its strength and momentum. It should come as no surprise, then, that the future is unavoidable. It can be steered, however. Therefore, when evaluating the effectiveness of governments, the main measure of our judgment should be their ability to shape the future, to lay the groundwork for a safer and more prosperous tomorrow. One of the most relevant Italian philosophers of the 20th century wrote, "The old world is dying and a new world struggles to be born. Now is the time of monsters." And our time is indeed that of monsters. Putin's invasion has brought war back to Europe with all of its devastating effects. Through this humanitarian and political catastrophe, the daily struggle for liberty and autonomy of the Ukrainian people should serve as an unyielding example to the free world as a whole. On the other side of the Mediterranean, the Middle East has once again entered a vicious cycle of violence and destruction, an accelerating spiral of war which doesn't seem to be slowing down. In this complex international framework, the United States stands as the only plausible cornerstone of a global democratic order. Alongside the European Union, it possesses the strength to steer the tides of change and to defend the liberal values upon which the West, both as a concept and as an historical experience, has been built. This is why the presidential election is said to be a turning point in the history of the 21st century. Now more than ever, two starkly different visions of America and the world at large stand in opposition. On one side, Donald Trump. His vision of America is straightforward, grounded in the simplicity of its values. A simplicity that, far from being a drawback, stands as an advantage. He advocates for a resolute, fearless nation, one that places the protection of its citizens' freedoms and foundational rights above all else. It's an intrinsically ideological stance, and therefore not without contradictions. Yet it works. It strikes a chord with the values and the ethical principles enshrined in the Constitution, at least from an originalist point of view. Trump has given a voice to those who stood defeated by globalization, deindustrialization, and technological progress. On the opposing side, Kamala Harris. She embodies the story and aspirations of a different America, an America shaped by the children of first-generation immigrants, by the vast, diverse coastal cities, by college students and tech giants. This is the progressive, socially aware America. The America committed to the battle against climate change, the construction and improvement of a modern welfare state, to the pursuit of global democracy as a parameter of foreign policy. The electorate will decide as always. Each vote cast and not cast will shape the future of the world. We, as Europeans, can only wait for the results. We live in a time of complexity, but as a great Italian statesman Aldo Moro once wrote, "If it were possible to say, let's skip this time and go straight to tomorrow, I think we would all agree to it. But it is not possible. Today we must live, today is our responsibility. It is about being courageous and confident at the same time. It is about living the time we're given with all of its difficulties." Thank you very much.